Hi and welcome to Drummer's Review. I'm Nolly and today we're looking at a Zildjian City Pack cymbal set. The City Pack is a set of 4 cymbals, or 3 if like me you think of a hi-hat as one, that are all small diameter and come from the A Zildjian range. Specifically we have a pair of 12-inch new beat hi-hats, a 14-inch fast crash and the new 18-inch uptown ride. Clearly here Zildjian are aiming at more portable drum setups and at people that perhaps play either gigging on the street or in really small venues, or perhaps practicing at home but still want decent quality cymbals. The City Pack comes in at £499, which represents a significant saving over buying the cymbals separately. Let's take a deeper listen at how these cymbals sound and come back for some discussion afterwards. Our initial impression when we unboxed this set was that the hi-hats and crash make a pretty cute pair, and we were surprised by the ride cymbal. Its extensively hammered and unlathed finish catches the eye. It looks very different to the other two, and we were interested to see just how much power that bell would have, because it certainly appears to be really small. The ride is a fairly typical weight, but the crash and hi-hats actually, if anything, feel a little bit heavy in the hand. Certainly not the thinnest cymbals we've come across. Those 12-inch new beat hi-hats are really fun to play. They're very fast due to the small diameter, and the closed and chick sounds are very satisfying and detailed. The occasions when you start to miss the sound of a larger diameter hat would have to be the open sounds, specifically if you're riding on them. The hi-hat bark sound is actually really nice with these 12s, but yeah, if you keep riding on the open hats, if anything it sounds a little bit thin and doesn't have the grit and carry that you might want from your open hat sound. The crash cymbal to us is probably the weakest out of the three cymbals. Having a very fast decay and a sharp sound, we felt like it sat kind of in between a splash and a crash without really excelling at either. It did work well on more offbeat accents or with the snare, but it certainly wasn't very satisfying to land on the downbeat with. On the positive side though, it's not shrill, and being a proper Turkish style cymbal, doesn't have any of the nasty zinginess that you might expect in cheaper cymbals. The Uptown Ride, however, was a big surprise for us once we heard it in action. It's actually got a great tone to it. I think the Zildjian have done a really good thing here by going for the dark finish, because it's got a great articulation and it's nowhere near as zingy and overtony as it might otherwise be if it had a brilliant finish. The bell is surprisingly easy to work with too, and Nick commented that it wasn't actually that difficult to hit despite being so small. And furthermore, probably something to do with the smaller diameter, it actually serves as a decent crash too, so for us this is the most flexible of the three cymbals by far. As a set, we felt like the ride and hi-hat made for a great pairing. We'd have no issue gigging with that setup. But it did feel like the crash perhaps could benefit from being a touch larger, maybe a 15 or 16, and with that you'd really be set. As you'd expect from professional level Zildjian cymbals, the build quality here is absolutely top notch. There are zero flaws to be seen, and these are cymbals that will keep serving you for a long time if you take good care of them. We think that Zildjian have come up with a really competitive pack here for players with more portable setups. Considering that it's a 50% saving over purchasing these three cymbals separately, we think it's really good value for money too. Clearly though, this pack isn't going to appeal to players who want larger size cymbals or cymbals that are going to be suitable in every situation. But for those of you who really want great sounding smaller diameter cymbals, I think this is a winner. But with all of that said, why don't you let us know what you think? Don't forget to leave us a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time at Drummers Review.